What if I told you there's a song from the 60s that eerily predicts humankind's future? This was a surprise hit by two unknown artists, and it was a one-hit wonder. It's hard when you start with a prophecy. But what can their voices tell us about the world? Let's give it a listen and find out. And thanks to my patrons for voting for this one.
In the year 2525, if man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find. In the year 3535, ain't gonna need to tell the truth, tell no lies. Everything you think, do, and say is in the pill you took today. In the year 4545, ain't gonna need your teeth, won't need your eyes. You won't find a thing to chew. Nobody's gonna look at you.
It's a story of disconnection, but you know what? Here we are on the internet, connecting. Hello, people. Now, why does this sound so hypnotic and ominous? We have this descending chord structure that goes down a step every single time. It's so creepy, creepy, creepy. And since it's descending step by step, it feels like you're just walking down into a hole. He also is doing something very interesting with his voice. We'll talk about that.
3535, ain't gonna need to tell the truth, tell no lies. Everything you think, do, and say
it's like a spiral or collapse.
Today. In the year 4545, ain't gonna need your teeth, won't need your eyes. You won't find a thing to chew. Nobody's gonna look at you. In the year 5555.
Because that chord structure is going round and round, it's so hypnotic and it never ends. It's like a spiral of despair. The energy just never lifts, just pulls you deeper and deeper. But vocally, he's kind of doing a similar thing. His intensity never gives up. He has vocal compression. He's pushing his vocal cords together in quite a strong way. There's no natural softness at the end of a phrase, so normally you'd hear which feels softer and smoother and a bit more comforting, but no, he's driving through with that compression right until the end of the note. The feeling of a warning rather than an entertaining performance.
Nobody's gonna look at you. In the year 5555, your arms are hanging limp at your sides. Your legs got nothing to do. Some machine doing that for you. In the year 6565, ain't gonna need no husband, won't need no wife. You pick your son, pick your daughter too, from the bottom of a long glass tube. Whoa, whoa. In the year 7510, if God's a-coming, he ought to make it by then. Maybe he'll look around himself and say, guess it's time for the judgment day. In the year 8510, God is gonna shake his mighty head. He'll either say, I'm pleased where man has been, or tear it down and start again. Whoa, whoa.
Often as humans we see the future as worse, or certainly we do a lot of the time at the moment. However, we're also living in a time that's also the best time to be a human. I'm pretty sure it's much better to be me now than 100 years ago, and certainly 200 years ago. Musically, it's blending folk and rock and sci-fi, which feels kind of experimental, even now.
And start again, whoa, whoa. In the year
Is ascending.
I
see it's having lots of key changes, and that is also interesting because it makes it feel like it's more intense, yet it's still spiraling, but we're getting more and more worried as we go along.
If man is gonna be alive, he's taken everything this old earth can give, and he ain't put back nothing. Whoa, whoa. Now it's been 10,000 years, man has cried a billion tears for what he never knew. Now man's reign is through, but through eternal night,
Maybe 10,000 years, I don't know.
of starlight, so very far away, maybe it's only yesterday. In the year 2525, if man is still alive, if woman can survive, they may find.
In this day and age, it's certainly something that's on a lot of people's minds. So what do you think? Are we headed towards a new and exciting future? I like to hope that that is the case. It depends if you're on the side of Zager and Evans. There.